Hello, future engineers. My name is Jesus Antonio Hernandez, and today I will present a short video about the Los Angeles Department of Water and Power Student Engineer Internship. I had the honor and privilege of attending this internship between June of 2022 through September of 2022. Today's agenda will consist of a little bit about myself, followed by the actual internship here at the Los Angeles Department of Water and Power, such as the overview and the responsibilities I had under my wing, how I found this internship opportunity, how I prepared for this application, how the internship is actually related to my EE curriculum and emphasis, and finally a wrap up with the benefits and remarks from this internship. So without further ado, let's begin. A little bit about myself. Once again, my name is Jesus Antonio Hernandez. I am currently in my fourth year here at Cal State LA, with my major being electrical engineering and an emphasis in power. I was born and raised in South Central Los Angeles, California. And a fun fact right now is that I am the team lead for the senior capstone project for Southern California Edison, where we are designing a DC microgrid. So where did I work for the LADWP? We were located in the La Cretz Innovation Campus. This campus is a joint campus where engineering, science, environmentalism, and policymaking merge to develop a sustainable future. We work with the Los Angeles Clean Tech Incubator, LACI, where we come together every once in a while to talk about new advancements and technologies. Specifically, my group was the Efficiency Solutions of Engineering Department, where it is the joint district. There are a total of 3 districts in the Los Angeles Department of Water and Power, that being the Power District, Joint District, and the Water District. And the main focus here for the Efficient Solutions of Engineering District is the fact that we undergo testing for lighting retrofits. Okay, so my main responsibilities were actually referencing a lot of specification sheets. You could say I was basically the electrical engineer's assistant. However, I was actually treated as a regular engineer here at this program. So yeah, I would have to reference a lot of these spec sheets. They look a lot like circuits. So I was in charge of actually designing them. Not designing them, reading them and actually putting the pictures together, making sure that they were all connected properly, no loose ends, and then afterward, and analyze it and revise it 3 or 4 times just to make sure. Afterward, we would then conduct these tests involving these integrating spheres. We would conduct photometric and electrical tests upon them and analyze the results. And of course, our main precaution was always safety. Another thing that my responsibility was to go on site visits. Me and my team would go on certain sites across Los Angeles, where we would visit a certain structure and inspect the lighting just to make sure that it was up to par, up to code. And then if a certain building did request a retrofit, we would go ahead and count the number of bulbs required to begin this process and to see what the budget is like. So basically a cost analysis breakdown. A specific one that I remember is the San Pedro site visit. Me and my partner Guam, we actually went to relocate these 2 HPS wall packs. They were damaged and we were in charge of conducting a retrofit for them. It's small, but it actually requires a lot of paperwork and due diligence. So yeah, something small. One thing I do want to mention is that here at this internship, there is a lot of teamwork building. You can see this is a list of my electrical engineering associates. These are all certified engineers that I worked with probably around 3 to 4 people a day with them. Like, there was not a day where I did not have a team member with me. And my supervisor, specifically for mine, was Elmer Leon. He was actually my main one who hired me. However, when he was not in office, Mehdi Shagafi would actually be the one who take my responsibilities sometimes. So yeah, this is just a little breakdown. I wanted to give a quick overview of how many people are with you on the job and how many people you rely on and they rely on you to get a job done. So how did I find out about this internship? Well, I found out about it through Dr. Charles Liu. He is our electrical engineering department chair and advisor. He is a phenomenal advisor. I've been working with him he's been assisting me for the past 2 years, and I cannot be more pleased. He actually emailed me this flyer, this internship opportunity last year when I was a junior, and I applied to it, and thankfully, well, here I am giving a presentation for future engineers to also apply to it as well. So yeah. And this program here, I just want to mention, it extends and encourages to all majors under the engineering curriculum. It doesn't just mean the electrical engineers or the mechanical engineers. Every engineer, all the engineers are welcome to apply. Civil engineers are accepted. Like I said, also computer science majors are accepted. They're open to it. So please share it and apply. You never know. So how did I prepare for this application? Well, first thing you have to do is make sure that you're actually eligible to be a candidate for the position. So you have to be enrolled as a full-time student with a declared major in an accredited university, such as Cal State LA, Dominguez Hills, Northridge, a university so long as it's accredited. You have to be at least a sophomore standing with a declared engineering major curriculum, such as electrical engineering, civil engineering, mechanical engineering, etc. You do have to be legal in order to a legal right to work here in the United States. And then upon hiring, they will conduct a background check. That background check will be processed if you're basically being selected for the job. So if you're about to get the background check, good job and congratulations, basically. So for the interview practice, this is very important for all future applicants, is please practice your behavioral questions, because I want to say about more than 70% of the questions asked in an interview revolve around your behavior. And this is because, as I showed you earlier, engineering is a team-based concept. You're not doing anything by yourself. And when you are, it's because you have a certain contribution to the bigger task, to the bigger picture. Because without the mechanical engineer, you won't be able to get to the next step. Without the electrical engineer, you can't get to the next step, etc. So they want to know how you are as a person, and be sure to practice these questions, because you want to be able to elaborate that you are a viable candidate for the position. You do not want to be excluded simply because you had no practice on how to answer these questions. So you want to be considered a viable candidate when asked these questions, because you know that you can work with the team. So get familiar with how to answer these questions. Another typical question that is asked upon these interviews, they revolve a lot around your emphasis and the position you're actually applying for. Such as for me, electrical engineering, a small question they would ask me is, what is Ohm's law, right? Or how much voltage is being supplied from a certain amount of current and a resistor. These are small questions that they ask you, but it's just a test to see if you actually know what you're studying, or you actually have a great concept. Because you can be a great, like I said, a great team player. However, you have to also know a little bit about your own background or your own emphasis. And what I mean by the position that you're applying for is, let's say that I am, like I said, I'm electrical engineering, but I'm applying for a position that kind of doesn't necessarily focus on power, and it focuses a lot more on civil. I would probably want to do some research about that position, so when they ask me, I can feel ready, or at least I know what to expect on this application or this job process. And if there is any more help that you need, I recommend visiting Cal State LA's Career Center for further assistance, because there you can find frequently asked questions, some behavioral practice interview questions, some emphasis questions, and also some help with your resume and cover letter. And I also forgot to mention that for this process, you do need a resume and a cover letter. And like I said, Cal State LA's Career Center does a great job with offering assistance. So a few more things that I want to talk about is how this internship actually was related to my EE curriculum and emphasis. Well, my main responsibility here was testing the subjects for optometry and electrical testing. So I would go ahead and analyze them. The first thing I wanted to do is make sure everything was up to code and safe to actually utilize, such as this UL certification on the products I was testing. And then once checked that it was actually safe to operate with, I would go ahead and plug it into my AC power supply and go ahead and read off the analysis of the products, such as the power factor given here and the total margin associated given here. For us, a power factor would be great if it's above 90%. and a total amount distortion is viable so long as it's below 20%. So as you can see in the 2 tests I did, they both check off. And some things that I do want to elaborate more on as well that I learned from the internship is respect the electricity. And specifically for my emphasis in power, I was working with power factor every day, testing these applications, making sure that they're above 90%, because power factor is in relation to how much power is being supplied and how much power you're actually utilizing. So as long as you're above 90%, you can basically say that you're using almost 100% of the power you're supplying. And for our total amount distortion, we want to keep that to a minimum. So here in California, we accept anything below 20%. These are some of the formulas that I used throughout my internship and that I keep utilizing. And one thing I do want to denote is that always refer to the fundamentals. You may think that it gets very complex, but at the end of the day, it's all the basics again. So here's a small electric wheel that I like to reference throughout my career so far in college and even at the internship, because like I said, it always goes down to the basics. And something practical for you future engineers to keep in mind is always double check your work with others. You can never be too sure. Stay organized and manage your time wisely, because you want to perfect a certain task. I understand that, but then your boss needed you to create a new lighting fixture by 12 o'clock p.m. So make sure you stay on top of that. And then one thing I do want to emphasize is keep asking questions, because that means you're on the right track, okay? You can never be too curious. It's always better to understand the fundamental of something so you can further understand how that application works. And some benefits and remarks of this internship is that I was involved in a lot of team management, how to work well with others and, get through some struggles. It was beautiful. I think it's the most exposure I've got to team involvement. And I think this opportunity for that, because now it's actually led me to become a better leader for my group that I'm doing here with my senior capstone, my senior design. I'm leading a group of students and they're helping me to create a DC microgrid demonstration. So they did give me the leadership skills that I needed for this task. I appreciate that. And there was a lot of presentations that I had to undergo. It was about once every 2 weeks, and it actually strengthened my speech skills, to be honest, my communication skills. And a remark that I want to say for future engineers is you do need your engineering and training license to be a part of the LADWP workforce. So you can apply without this to the internship. However, if you do want to be a part of them in the long run, you need to get your EIT. It's very important, and I recommend getting it because it's basically a certification that you are an engineer in training. And you need this for any government job, not just the DWP. But as I said, very important. Start studying for it. It's an exam that you have to complete and pass. Apply to LADWP as soon as possible. You can apply without having the EIT, but if you do happen to get in, just understand that you have to get it with 2 years of acceptance. And as I said before, keep asking those questions. Stay curious, because it means you're on the right track, okay? So, future engineers, I hope you the best in your future endeavors, and well, I hope this video served you well. Take care. Thank you, everyone.